Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to Tyranny. Last time we saved Forge Master Zedenia from the Bronze Brotherhood and killed Tommen. However, we were forced, essentially, to hand her over to the Voices in the Rat. A choice I was not very happy with.
Will do.
Mainly because, you know, it just seemed to have like no reason for it. Like the choices were kill her or send her over to the Voices in the Rat. So, very unfortunate number of choices. Now we basically gotta go back to Lethian's Crossing and basically turn in loads of quests. We turn in, found somebody's sister. We found out that somebody didn't kill someone else. But hang on, where are we going? We are going. First of all, the mission shipment is Lohara. Kalia's over there. Leave no one behind is Lohara. Gaea's over on that side. And let's go back to the Eldians. Okay. Go back. Oh, hello. Fatebinder, it is good to see you alive. All the commotion coming from inside the old walls, Eldian was beginning to worry about you. Sent me to find you should you return to Lithian's Crossing. Without a garrison here to protect us, always were disconcerting to say the least. Everyone here will sleep a little better knowing you have returned safely to us. The challenges of the old walls could never keep me from protecting Lithian's Crossing. We are grateful for your protection. But we'll turn back to him at some point. We need to go see Lohara. Blood Chanter. Okay. I guess all the disfavored have been replaced by wait, Java. All of the disfavored have been replaced by Scarlet Chorus members, I suppose. Let's sell what we've got here. We've discovered that basically it doesn't matter who I sell to. So let's go through all the sales pitch stuff. We're gonna keep the Tenderizer and the Forge Bound Hammer, I think. Everything else. We can sell you. Hang on. So you. Pillar of Courage. I'll keep that around for now, maybe. They've not yet. Now we'll sell that. Right. Tenderizer. That's gone. Let's sell everything. Like, make a clean break of it. Lantry and Ebb specific. You can just sell the rest. Brotherhood bracers. What am I wearing in my arms? Light armor gauntlets. We're gonna go full heavy armor. Let's go full heavy armor then. Heavy leather armor. All that nonsense. Sell these. We'll keep these around just in case. And anything else here? Broken helmet, broken hammer. All those out. Not sure if those are sellable or not. If they are, we've clearly been carting them around for no reason. Anyway, we just got this stuff. Digital of fire we've already got. Weapon. Oh, digital of volcanic weapon. You clearly need sigil of material force before you can use that, but we will grab it nonetheless. Good, just trade. Bam. We just made a bank from that. Notice that can go as well. Good, and you can just learn that now. A new sigil for volcanic weapon. I don't think we've got a material force, have we? Material force takes the enchanted weapon one. We do have material force. So fire, material force, ignite brand. Ignite brand gives you a range. Interesting. On weapon hit for 45 seconds increased fire damage. There's a higher amount of lore, especially when if I just turn that down, it goes down to 50 lore. Interesting. Interesting. Assuming we can change those around, you can have static charge. Gives you... increases the time and gives him a... gives you an additional fire. It's specifically a fire damage. Even on... if I do like... even if I do ice, freezing grip, still does fire line. No matter what. Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. We're okay for spells at the moment. Right, let's go see Lohara. And basically grovel apologetically to, because I do want to get Zedenia away from the voices of Narat. There's Garrick over there. Let's go say hi to Garrick. Okay, Garrick doesn't say anything. Lohara. Hi, Lohara. You have returned. Lohara turns to face you, her body covered head to toe in charred hues, chest rising and falling under the strain of laboured breathing. There's always more demand for iron than there is time in the day. How may I be of assistance? I found Garrick. I've already spoken to him. The young weasel thought he could find rare metals in the old walls, did he? I'm more impressed that he returned with his life than anything he might have found. Thanks for your hard work, Fatebinder. You deserve a reward at least. A rune I already have. Great. And the weapon shipment. Thank you for finding our wasted weapons, Sanan Tenys. We always had to leave the forge idle for a day on the account of material shortages. We have no desire to find out what will happen if we don't meet our quota. Add those losing weapons on top of it, and who knows what we'll be subjected to. We have to get everything repaired and get it in the right hands. Okay. So, a couple of level ups as well. Okay, so let's look at what do we get here. We got Slugfist Gauntlets. Strictly better. It's also weighted. Gonna give those a bam. Turn those in. I guess good. That we already know that one, so we can put that in there as well to sell. Okay, I guess we have some level ups to do. You working on getting your... you can go to 19. Working on getting your cooldowns up. You... hit harder. Right. Right. You now skirmish. You're going for duelist, weren't we? Yes, we were. We were going for duelist. So know your enemy is what we were doing, isn't it? Because you know your enemy gives you every time you, whenever she gets hit, she gets a passive bonus to parry and dodge. And then you get Gravelight. Runic Barrier level 3. Hall of Reckoning. Right nearby Bane. Frightened Affliction is will reduced by 30%. Makes it easier to hit with will attacks. Suspend the target into midair. And they cannot move, cannot attack, move, be stunned, or knocked down, but they can only be hit by ranged attacks. Interesting. Runic Barrier 3. Goes up from 4 to 6. We'll take even more armor. We need to put a point in there anyway, because we need to unlock the next tier up. Okay, taking more armor. We'll take more armor. Okay. Means we're really close to leveling up as well.
On it.
We've got plenty of money, so I think we go walk past those merchants at the front, see what they have to say for themselves. There you go, Dea. Have you settled my blood debt? Killed your wife and tried to fame Sandro. How dare you accuse... That's so absurd I can't even... Oh, my miss, I thought I gotten away with it. Can't blame me for trying, though. Perhaps you know, Fatebinder, with Phaedra gone, I have inherited everything she owned. Perhaps there's something I can offer you that you decide to leave things be. First, I have a few questions. Really? What else could you want to know? Why hail a Fatebinder when you were the one who murdered your own wife? I thought that could have been obvious. If I was the one who flagged you down, you'd be less likely to suspect I was the one who killed her. I was hoping you'd just take my word for it and kill Sandro for me. Apparently he didn't have a mind to keep his mouth shut. Why did you kill Phaedra? Living with Phaedra was insufferable. Always so happy and smiling like nothing bad ever happened to her in her entire life. It drove me crazy. I was happy with her at first, but over time it wore me down. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to show her that life can be mean and cruel, so she'd stop smiling all the damn time. The dead do not smile. Sandro told me a rather interesting and different version of events. You're a persistent one, aren't you? Fine, as you probably know now, Phaedra was the granddaughter of Lethiad, which means she essentially owned Lethian's Crossing. Every month she would collect from the merchants, use the rings to maintain the market areas for their use. She only ever collected enough to cover the needs of the marketplace. She never considered we could use those rings too. I told her to raise the rates. The merchants could afford it, but she refused. Filthy merchants all live better than I do. There are other ways to make rings. You only say that because you're a Fatebinder. People practically throw rings at you to solve their problems. That's true. That's true. That's fair. That's fair. Now that I own this town, I can charge whatever I want. I can finally have the life I deserve. The only thing in my way was that worm Sandro. How can I just... This is an interesting thing, right? She just murdered her wife. So... I wish I had a book of, like, Kyros' laws. Right. Screw it, she killed her wife. She killed her wife, I don't care.
Another demonstration of our power seems in order.
You killed your wife, I don't care.
On it. I'll tear your skull.
Wow. Holy crap, Versus hit her critically hit with everything. Hits Deo slashing. And got several critical hits in, doing a total amount of so much. Holy moly. I dealt 21. That does not even begin to match up with whatever Verse just did.
Fire ass. On it.
Eb just goes like, nope, dead.
On it.
How do we turn? Okay, I leveled up Hurrah. I get, was it Killing Rush? No, I get... Everyone in the party regains a portion of their maximum health whenever they kill any party enemy, or just like a Phoenix down. Go for Phoenix down, I think. And 1 point, start working on our accuracy. Right. Thea's necklace is finesse. Or Phaedra's necklace, I guess. That is Thea's necklace. Okay, so finesse, which is the accuracy one. You've already got a finesse cloak, haven't you? Bit of regeneration, you got Graze deflection. Haste gives you quickness. That gave you cursed. That gave you frozen shackle. So we have a quickness burst here. Form gives me vitality. I lose like 10 HP, but I get more accurate, slightly more accurate. I'll take that. Okay. I'm assuming is that the end of that quest. That is the end of that quest. Gotta head over to Kalia now, but we'll swing by down here by the merchants. See if they have anything for us. Right, so what we need to sell first of all, which is this. Right, fine. Anything we want to get from you? Nope, we good. We good. Yeah, see the Scarlet Chorus is now here. I need to shift them. Digital Frost, Digital Lightning, now you got all that. None of that is relevant. And here we have Oathbound Dagger, Bronze Javelin, Relentless. How does this work for you? Technically, not as good as anything you've currently got. Fair enough. Lower on DPS and everything as well, which is really odd. I guess you are a dagger. The thing is, like, you got less DPS, but you've also got, like, you got less damage, but you've also got less recovery, which is a really interesting bit. I was thinking you would not have that much recovery. What about the bow? Gives you volley, fires multiple projectiles. No multiple projectiles, there's a huge loss of DPS, although the recovery is the same. Way more accurate though, we fire 3 projectiles. So you're firing 3 shots at a DPS. See, it's not quite there. And what about you, buddy? Archibald Bronze. What have you got for me? Sigil of Rooting, we already know that one. Sigil of Bleeding, we don't know that one. Take that then. Ring Counter Seal, increases your will defense, support amount of mirrors. Soft Heal Wrap. We already got this, which gives us +10 subterfuge, so that doesn't really require it anymore. Because these are technically shoes rather than everything else. Grounding Garbs. Staff of Enigma. Damn it, random damage. Mercy is a 2-handed... Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Fade that out. Figure that. Oh, we need to sell the other one, don't we? Yeah, we do. We need to sell the other one. Hang on. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. There it is. Sell that. Okay, so let's go here and see where... The guy was over here somewhere, wasn't he? I think the guy was over here. The guy was looking for his sister. I want to keep the helmet, to be honest, so... Thank you, Fatebinder, for helping me and my sister. I guess I didn't realize how unhappy she was. I was so focused on myself that I didn't see she was suffering because of it. She left Letting's Crossing to pursue her dreams of exploring the Tiers. I truly hope she finds her dreams out there. If you see her, please keep an eye on her. The Tiers can be dangerous. As promised, here is what I owe you. Thank you. I'll just take the money. Everyone gets a little bit of something. Good. Right, now we gotta go turn in Eldian and find a way to keep the helmet. I want to keep this mage helmet. Technically, they don't need it anymore. I mean, the only reason they had it is to get rid of the Banes, and we've pretty much cleared the Banes out of the old walls. Hello, Eldian. Camping supplies. Sure. May the silence of peace and the jangling of rings both follow you in all your things. What can I do for you? I recovered the Mage Belm helm from Raytommen. I knew you wouldn't fail. Now you can put it back where it belongs. Please let me have it. Items must be in party inventory or stash to be given. I'll be on my way. Hang on, I want to save here because I want to make sure. I want to keep it. I want to make sure it's not going to do the same thing as last time, where it just basically immediately gives it. What can you tell me about Deserter's March? Fine. Actually, I think it's safer with me. I have need of it for the time being. No, Fatebinder, you cannot. Without the Mage Bin, we are susceptible to more attacks. Please do not leave us exposed like this. Sorry, Eldian, but I'm going to keep it. As you will it, Fatebinder. After everything you've done for Legends Crossing, I will trust your judgment. The hero's path is hard fought and even harder walked. Can't say I knew what you meant until now. If you say the helmet is better left in your hands, I believe you. Oh my god, thank you very much. That's probably some kind of end game.
This will be fun.
That's probably some kind of end game thing where if I don't give them the helmet before the end of the game, Legends Crossing gets wiped out by Bane or something. I could totally see that being a thing. Okay. Okay, let's see. What do we want? What do we want? What do we need to do? What needs to happen now? You got the new accent to the bleeding spell. Okay. Let us see. Yeah, we need to go to the Broken Plains Wilderness. That's been hanging over our heads for a while.
Sorry.
I want to find a way to do a clean break from the voices, though. We can't even. Can we even leave through here? No, we cannot. Fine. Let's get out. Probably go up to the towers first. The towers have need of us. Researching artifacts it's going to take a while. Huh. Due in 2 days though, so not too bad. 2 days. Interesting. Might be worth resting up in the tower for a bit. Up to the tower. Head up to the tower and see what he's picking up, see what he's doing. All these people he's talking to. Page Garrus, how's it going? Couple of scrolls, thank you. Take the scrolls. Lithos. Let's talk magic. Control force control, stone control, atrophy. Nothing really. We don't really use that nonsense, so we're okay. Sadly, that's what you're training for. Forge bound, favor 3. I'd like to train. You can train us in lore, however, which is always something we can use training in. Always can use training in lore. Barrick. Both of you could use training in lore, to be honest. But we're okay for now. I want to get myself caught up in levels. Lantry. Lantry.
One moment, my friend. Just let me finish this thought.
Finish it.
I'm
I'm going to bring you in temporarily.
I'll tack homework.
No doubt
See you
this
there.
will prove interesting.
Just temporarily, because have you got the Voice of Ages? Lantry, you need the Voice of Ages talent. Sage. Yeah. I'm going to get points into that, because we need the Voice of Ages talent to go learn the things that are in the bloody old walls. Yeah, that's Watcher's Judgment, fine. Voice of Ages. Take that. Well, take the increased control life skill, because you are technically the massive healer for the team. Though that's the increase of lore by 10, so it's a strict lore increase by 10. You know what? Take the lore increase as well. Lore goes across the board. You need a Voice of Ages skill, and then you get, what, 3 points to put into things. And what's your equipment like? Pathetically bad. You haven't actually touched you in quite some time. Velos, what up? You made for anything for me? Nope, you haven't got anything for me at the moment. Irina, you have for sale. Elegant staff, shock staff, cinder, a crushed staff of control fire. Okay, here we go. This is the interesting thing. All the stuff we haven't learned yet. Marking, rapid casting, focused rain, precise action, limitless boundaries, piercing force, reaching grasp, staggering force, sigil of strength. So I can't even begin to afford all of these. They're really expensive, and they're a huge. Why do you have elegant heirloom necklace? Did I sell it to you at some point? Might buy it back just to own it. Just to own it, I'm going to buy it back. It's a really big waste of money, but like, they should own. I want to own it. Feels harsh for me to sell a priceless, an elegant heirloom. So we'll buy it. We shall buy it. Cursed can go away. I don't care about cursed very much. Haste is quickness. That is vitality. That can go away. Anything in here that I want to get rid of? A lot of cheese. I'll keep those. I always get really paranoid that I'm going to need them at some point. You good? Yeah, we know. That is a swig of insight. That is fatiguing toxin. Get the potions out, because the potions are the ones I'm unlikeliest to use. Okay. Trade those in. Okay. A quick rest here. Get the skills bonuses we get. Yeah, which is the +5 to lore, +5 to all magical skills, +5 to all skills. Huge boost to us. Teleport over to the other thing for now. I'm assuming that took out some 2 days still.
Sorry, I can't.
Let's quickly teleport to the other spire. See what we need there. Okay, so what can we turn in? What needs turning in? Shush. My alarm. Sorry. Very early in the morning today. Engine guard does not like me at all. Weapons and stuff. Approximate action. I don't know. Do I know any? Do I know? I haven't. I don't know phasing. I don't know deflecting. You're cheap as chips. We'll grab you. You are relatively fine. We'll grab you guys because you guys are something I can end up using in the future. Okay, Iron, Ebb, rest here. Nothing else here. I mean, you could talk to this guy and say what he has for us, but I think if it's going to be camping supplies, yeah, it's camping supplies. Take one of them and go. Okay, so let's head to Broken Plains Wilderness. Gives me 1 day. Good. Kind of what we want to do is 1 day. Missive. We've got a missive for Fatebinder Sanan. You're in favor 1. Sanan Tenys. Based on what you've told me, it seems a stretch to believe these set events are mere coincidence or circumstance. Kyros' edict of execution was set up for someone to claim Ascension Hall. To think that Kyros did not know that would happen is a massive underestimation of the Overlord's long view. You have been thrust into the arena of the mighty. Your options are retreat into obscurity, suicide, or rising to the occasion. I suggest the third option. If I were you, I would use my connection to the spires to see if they will awaken to my presence. Every tradesman sees the spires in the horizon. They know you are the master of the spires. They will see you each time they look at the sunrise or sunset. Foster a reputation for power, make others fear you. This is what I've seen Kyros and every living Archon do for as long as I've lived, and there are reasons for this. It is a practical case that power and reputation insulate you from threats, but there's the lesser known element that I can't prove, but I know in my heart to be true. The fear and love of others will strengthen your magic. This last part I've inferred from my discussions with Bled and Mark. In the few times he has spoken of his gruesome work in slaying those who might rise to threaten the Overlord, he has hinted that it's easier to kill the rogue elements before they become famed and fearsome. In my time, I saw Graven Ash change from an unknown militiaman to a fearsome general, and I can assure you he did not have the power to shield his warriors in those days when he was without the title or reputation. The Archons will never, ever discuss the origin of their power, because such knowledge might be used against them, but I have known all the Archons to be obsessed with the presentation of power. Your connection to the Spires will all but guarantee the Archons will want to control and destroy you. It's a question of when, not if. Start thinking and acting like an Archon. As far as I'm concerned, you are an Archon. The Archon of the Spires. If we are quick to place labels on powers we can easily spot, and history is replete with Archons of fire and ice, it is foolish to think that there must be a word for a thing before an Archon can control it. Other way around, the Archons show us what's responsible, what is possible, and we must step to their dance. Ask about Kyros' wrath. That's what it is. Thank you for weighing in on this. Perhaps too obvious a question. If I'm such an anomaly, such a threat, why isn't the Overlord dealt with me right away? Edict or simple request of Bled and Mark would be no small threat. Neither seems to have happened just yet. What is your take on this? Why hasn't Kyros dealt with me? Go on then. I like going backwards and forwards. I like it. Okay, let's see what's over here then. Can we talk to this person? Maybe we can, maybe we cannot. I do not want to attack these. Oh, for God's sake! I've got no choice to attack these people, do I? Is it all? I'm done swiving for. Need a hand? Yeah, I could. All I taste is blood and shit. Can't be good. His favorite got us good. Don't suppose you're here to revenge us, or better, saving our asses. I'll help you, but then you have to join the Scarlet Chorus in payment. The only difference between the Bloodhood and the Chorus is the Chorus doesn't pay. I like to get paid. Death is a better prospect? Anyone ever tell you Fatebinders are hard to argue with? Patch me up and kill the disfavored and we'll join your chorus. Okay. I do not want to attack the disfavored. I really, really don't. That is what that's raw meat. Oh, lovely.
Time to lighten my step.
Okay, here's some Bloodhood armor. We'll grab that. I'm actually going to leave. I've got Lantry here, it's not Ebb, so that's already a problem. I've got Lantry, not Ebb, and I want to basically go back to Lethian's Crossing. If you can find the stuff. Go back to... I want to basically do a break with...
You didn't see nothing.
Yeah, missive, another missive, hello. Archon Sanan Tenys. Oh, it's begun. Allow me to address you by such a title before it becomes fashionable to do. I pride myself on a woman who stays ahead of the trends. Why Kyros smites some but allows others to exist is a question we all ponder. The Overlord can certainly appear arbitrary, and if I've learned anything, that's the point. Kyros is intentionally aloof and distant, both for matters of personal security and because you had to wrangle the most powerful entities of Terratus, you need to keep them from getting too comfortable. To me, the most obvious answer is that Kyros knows exactly what you're doing. She probably approves of your actions, likely working at every opportunity to create a situation wherein you are acting in your own self-interest while satisfying her ambitions as well. You have to consider one important detail. There's nowhere left in Terratus to conquer now that the tiers are in the Overlord's grasp. What would be the great generals even do in the time of peace? The voices of Norat is barely tolerable when you have a need of a spy master. Why keep around such a monster when you no longer have a need for such a gruesome weapon? I would argue that it is in Kyros' interest that the tiers be a costly invasion that claims the lives of as many Archons as possible. Not enough meat on the tiers to keep too many sharks sated for very long. Kyros ordered everyone to take Ascension Hall or die. The or die must have been an acceptable option, correct? If I had to take a hazard guess, I'd say you have the unspoken backing of the Overlord. Not like Bled and Mark can't find you whenever he wants. Interesting, that is true. The Overlord is far-seeking and far-looking in all his dealings. It is very true. That is... Jeez, I haven't even thought of that. Wow, okay. That frames things. If Kyros is looking for an Archon who can live in peacetime, that's me. like I'm a judge. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a war master. I'm not a spy master. I'm technically a judge slash jury slash executioner. I have a place in the future, in Kyros' piece. Something that not anyone else, that no one else does. So look around for these things. One of them is there. There were 3 of them, weren't there? There was 3 of these things around. You've got time for Kyros' piece. And I am an Archon that can... If I am an Archon, the Archon of the Spires, I can exist in Kyros' piece. Cyclical Energies 3. Greatly reduces the cooldown of spells, pretty much. Interesting. Hello, hang on. You got lore 70, that goes up to lore 90, but it lowers the cooldown to... I'm going to update all my spells for this at the moment, just because I can. My lore is almost 120 at the moment, so I can definitely work on increasing... Rhyme Fireball has now got a cooldown of 24 seconds, that's amazing. Flash Fire can go up to that. What else can Flash Fire? You can get another 120. Ah, just short of that, unfortunately. 120, just short of that. Fair enough. You haste. 115. Mirror Image goes to 110. Fulmination 115. Twisting Flame 110. Vital Body 90. 110. Pretty good, actually. Nice buff to all my... Restoring Touch, you can go that to 75. You don't even need accuracy for Restoring Touch, so it's fine. Update those for you. Like, you're not really gonna have to do much anymore because you're not really part of the party these days. But I'm still gonna buff up your spells. Can't do that. Fair enough. It's a bit much for you. Okay, so let's update that. Healing Wisps. I can give you the cooldown. I can give you the range. No, I can't give you the range up. I can give you a cooldown boost. And a range up, I guess. And your Vital Body, you can go for that. Yeah, actually, that's less important than that, to be honest. That's more important. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. Cyclical Energies 3. That's very, very good for us. I think that's the other one I've missed here, correct? Right. I think that's almost done. Almost done, okay. Oh, that's maintenance cost, right.
Can't do that.
I thought that was research time. Okay, where are the other ones I need to find? One here. I thought I'm sure there were 3 of them. I'm fairly certain there were 3 of them.
Sorry, I can't.
Sigil of Strength 4. That's the best Sigil of Strength there is, I think. Plus 50 lore to start adding that to spells. We can get Rhyme Fireball. That is what? Plus 20. That could be plus 1. The damage boost is what? Huge. The base damage is 12 to 8. Yeah, so if I remove that. Okay, so it's 18 to 27. That is quite the bust. That is quite the increase. In future, then we must definitely keep an eye out for that.
It.
Where is the other one? There's definitely one more.
Can't do that.
Definitely one more. Where is it then? Is it not on this wall? Maybe we can scan every room. I know we missed... I knew there were 3. There were definitely 3. I say as I now play with madness. I'm fairly certain there were 3. One there, we've done that one. That's a huge gain, holy moly. Especially if I could have... If at one point could have bought those, like... Oh... We've done this one. There it is. Look at that. That looks to me like a variation on accuracy, maybe? Is that accurate? Or it could be something brand new. It could be something brand new. Chaotic Descent. Ah! It's a proper lore plus 100. Okay, hang on, so we have Flash Fire we're not really using, so we can do that and go Chaotic Descent, 100, Scorching Missiles. Do an AoE effect, 2-minute cooldown, but 100, I can do that to... I'm just short of being able to do the damage. Imagine that. It's huge, it's beautiful. I would love that as well. That would be amazing. Basically, you add. Ooh, does it lose frost? It loses the crush effect. It just becomes fire frost. Interesting. Increase the AOE. I'm going to increase the cooldown. I'm going to assign Scorching Missiles to Flash Fire. I'm not really using Flash Fire. We use Scorching Missiles instead. What else can we do with Scorching Missiles? That's always interesting. We can also have, like, was it lightning bolt, like lightning thunderstorm or something? Yeah, thunderstorm, which does lightning damage in an area. Big AOE essentially. You have firebolts. Does you have? Can't have that one. Can you have ice? I'm assuming it becomes a. You can't do it with ice. Interesting. You do it with force. You cannot do it with force. Can you do it with? Can't do it with that. Oh, you can do it with that. You can have Acid Rain, which does poison deflection and endurance damage. You can also add it to cause bleeding as well. Or we can actually rooted and poisoned. Because bleeding is raw damage over time. It's interesting. I'm not going to use it, but that's interesting usage of it. Fine. Good, good, good. We can leave now, right? Yeah, leave now. Right. I need now to head over. Okay, if we're going to basically give that a break, right? I'm going to go talk to the Nerat. I need to find a way to break with the voices in Nerat as soon as possible. I'm going to become my own Archon right now. I've taken that into my... That's my new path. I will become my own Archon. We need to head back to Cacophony. If I basically accept the idea that I'm now my own Archon. Yes. Like I said, I'm not against Kyros. That hasn't happened, and I don't expect that to happen. My character wouldn't do that. However, we had now been explained to us quite happily by Myothis, essentially, that Kyros is a problem. That there are too many Archons here designed for war, and there is no more prospect of war. So possibly the Civil War is engendered by Kyros. That's one possibility. That Kyros has planned the Civil War to happen. He wants as many people here to die that there's less of like a standing army with nothing to do. Because a standing army with nothing to do is a bad idea, always. Okay. This is the sort of question that can get you killed. Very little is known about how the Archons were born or come to power. My long life has taught me that Kyros and the Archons prefer it this way. The young and talented remain forever in the dark. Old and mighty can rule without challenge. I heard of Ash, he will always be merely Ash to me, before Kyros renamed him and gave him his legion, that backhanded title, as a rebel. A grimy, illiterate partisan who was winning battles while his countrymen in the Northern Kingdom lost left and right. Ash was always a good leader, but he wasn't born to mystically reach out and protect his soldiers. The earliest mention of this isn't even until the tail end of the Northern Conquest. And if you read the journals, they don't tell the stories of grievous harm warded off by Ash's stern looks. Instead, they talk of his soldiers finding their fears and doubts lifted from them by Ash's presence. Careful reading suggests the ability to actively predict harm came years later as that bond grew, and more importantly, as his legend grew. That legend is the key detail. My understanding, an Archon's power is something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The widespread perception of an Archon's power is the very thing that strengthens an Archon's power. So in Ash's case, he had something early inkling of a power, the ability to assuage the burdens of his men, and as he took on a mantle of power and became known all around Terratus as the next Archon of War, as soon as it became the ability to bear the physical burdens of his men, not just their fears and doubts. This is my advice to you, is to act like an Archon. Take power where you can find it, foster fear, foster love, never walk through life anonymously, but live in the thoughts of your followers and the anxieties of your enemies. We'll send a question about Bled Mark. Your wisdom on the matter is greatly appreciated. You made mention of Bled Mark and his killings. During my training, Fatebinder Kyros hinted that much of Bled Mark work involves killing off threats before they blossom into genuine problems. It is curious to hear you second that fact. So, let's say for the sake of argument, I am some Archon. Is it just a matter of time until Bled Mark is sent to kill me? Should I be making grand displays of loyalty to the court to assuage his suspicions? You've done the research that you needed to do. Great. Now. But we shall move on. See what he's doing. We find Zedenia. That's important.
Sorry,
Ben.
I can't.
I want to find Zedenia. Splinter. Find Zedenia. Rest up here. It's fine. Sanguinari. Anything over here? Blood chant. No, we're good. Anything down here? No, we're good as well. We've solved all the problems here, really. Find Zedenia. I haven't seen Zedenia. I am worried now. Chrysantha has been killed. Okay, we need to become our own Archon. Probably now is not the time to announce it in front of the voices in the rat, but you never know. Hail, Fatebinder. The voices in the rat ordered me to answer any of your pestering questions, so I guess that was what I'm here to do. Not what I'd call a lieutenant's work, but I'm not here to question the voices. You're clearly going places in the world, Seven. You should take pride in that. It feels like a century since we ran together in old Azure. You had more hair, I had all 10 toes, and a better balance to boot. I always saw myself as more of a gang boss, but in the end I carved out this cozy little niche for myself. By the time this war's done, we will be unrecognizable, either lining a mass grave or leading forces from the rear. Isn't that right, big boy? He glances up at Barak and jabs his breastplate. It's true, I no longer resemble myself, but under this armor I am still every bit the northerner who Ash recruited. Some things will never change. So what do you need from me? How do you and Verse know each other? He was my gang boss, back when we were called the Spitted Darlings. Verse had just come off our other gang, the Bonny Wastrels. All of them mauled or eaten by the beasts in Azure. Of course, you're right. Those weren't easy days, but damned if we didn't walk away with all our lives and a few stories to tell our name. Tell me about yourself. Started out like most Scarlet Chorus rats, conscripted off the farm and armed with a pitchfork. It didn't take me long to warm up to the idea of Kyros' army. We had more freedom than 8 years ever allowed, and I had never been opposed to joining the winning side. I didn't want to see the whole war from the front line, so the first order of business was to kill my gang boss and take his place. Easily done, he was a louse. I'd ran at least half a dozen gangs since the start of the conquest, and it followed me all the way to Cacophony. Not an easy life, but there's no lack of amusement to be had, and plenty of opportunities for advancement. If you're curious how I got this gig, you can check out the previous lieutenant over there. He thumbs over to a still figure impaled on a pike. The voice is a sucker for ambition and clever solutions to a problem. Do you enjoy your work? I enjoy surviving. Until right now, the Kyros is the only way to do that. The disfavored don't allow foreigners into their legion. Until the war is over, the tears under Kyros' heel, it's red or dead. I never suspected I would have a taste for the work until I got at the front lines. Something about carving a path through your enemies and watching the enemy grow behind you is just satisfying. Makes me feel good to belong to something. What do you think of the voices? He's the boss, he calls the shots, and I follow. I don't ask a lot of questions. I'll say this much, you don't want to insult him, especially when he's going on about his art. He takes that sort of thing personally. Thought you could really tell in that great bronze helmet of his. Cool. I don't see Zedenia. I don't like that. Hello! There's a box right behind your throne.
Take a look at that.
With not much in it. Great. I'll get the healing potion because I'll divvy that up afterwards. There, that's a elixir of quickness. Good, we'll keep that, and staggering burn can go to you because you tend to use it. Let's pop the quickness. More quickness for me. 21 quickness. Hello! That's definitely value for money. Okay, hello. Let's see what you have to say, buddy. Voices Narat regards you with an unreadable expression. You're back! What do you think of our throne? As much as we hate a cold and moving chair, this one suits us. Let us spot to plant ourselves, we would pace the length of the old walls every day with our contemplation. What you need to know, we're dizzy with answers. We'd like to report on recent events. Your success at Lethian's Crossing was a work of brilliance. The forge-bound master is now in our hands, and her secret of her craft within reach. Soon our howling masses will shirk their bronze sticks and take up our forgiving arm. See! I did not want this to be the thing that happened! Your work in Lethian's Crossing has made us wrong. We can feel it. Soon enough, every corner of the tiers will be draped in red. Another matter has come to our question. Attention, which will speed the process to the only inevitable end. A document of great power, the Silent Archive, rests in the burning library. The archive is said to hold many secrets, any of which we can twist to our advantage. One of our gang bosses, the Censor, seeks the entrance to this queenly treasure. Aid her in her search, and dispatch her back to us with any findings. You may take much upon yourself, the weight of war. We don't mean to overextend you, but the Blade Grave and the Burning Library are pressing concerns for us. Choose and return to Cacophony with word of your progress. If you would pester us with questions, ask now. I wanted to ask about Master Zedenia. Talent without equal. Oh, she got killed. Great. Talent without equal. Her craft, her expertise, her professionalism, any single one of her regal qualities couldn't assist war. With her on our side, we are unstoppable. Wouldn't the Forge Band have been more useful if she were alive? One can never tell with such things. In life, the Forge Mantis created items of extraordinary value. In death, her knowledge lives on, gathering potential like an avalanche. One could argue that she serves the Scarlet Chorus better from the grave, or from her present vantage anyway. Is that your way of saying she flatly refused to serve you in life and mocked you with her last words? Oh yes, there were harsh invectives. A hammer was lobbed in my direction. Her desperate flame was intoxicating. Then why is she on a spike? You can't fathom your reading, Fatebinder. Of what spike do you speak? Why would we ever— Oh, you mean that spike. As sorrowful as it makes us, even a fire as brilliant as the Forge Master's must be extinguished in its time. Her greatest work was behind her, but ours lies ahead. She'll be missed, the dear, promising thing. Tell me how she missed her end. We engaged the Forge-bound Master in discourse for some time, learning what we could about the secret of iron in the most amiable terms. Ever the artist, she grew withdrawn and taciturn. We were forced to adopt the more aggressive measures to wrest the knowledge from her swirling matter. To our greatest delight, she proved amenable to sharing herself with us, laying her every secret layer bare for scrutiny. We must take time to contemplate the secret of iron, but rest assured, it is ours, and we are stronger for it. You tortured her. You take such severe and judgmental tone, Fatebinder. We can see why you are Chunon's favourite. Worry about the campaign and your assignments. Whatever happens behind the flap of our war tent is our affair. Yes, see? I could have just let her go. I could have just let her go, but the game did not let me do that. Go to the Blade Grave. The Blade Grave. Before our conquest, it was the region of Stalwart, warlike and fiercely independent in character. The Regent bloodline ruled by their torrid and often inbred lines of succession. Of course, the Edict of Storms has thrown that to disorder. What about the area now? It's a complex question with no clear answer. The Unbroken Legion, a rabble of groups of veterans from Stalwart's army, struggle to maintain hold by force of arms. Behind the walls of the Sentinels stand. The last of the regents lives out his days, no doubt thinking of himself as strong and relevant as ever. Tell me about Graven Ash's daughter. As severe and uncompromising as her idiot father, we would liken her to a tower shield with a voice like a ram's horn warped out of tune. We met the girl but once, and we nearly came to blows. If war and the passage of years have softened her temper, then we should get along magnificently when you present her at Cacophony. Or I'm supposed to pick her up then. About the Edict of Storms. Ah, your little handiwork. We envy you, Stormcaller, to have been the conduit for such power. It must have been a pleasure like no other. Swirling maelstroms now blast the land, and Sentinel Stand, the fortified heart of the Blade Grave, is both trapped and imprisoned by Kyros' edict. Cowardly regent who survived the war hides there to this day, protected and imprisoned by Kyros' anger. Only by piercing the unforgiving fabric of the storm could anyone reach its heart and drive a blade through its core. Yeah, basically, the Edict of Storms will continue until the ruling family dies. Yeah, Kyros has drafted the Edict of Storms to punish the defenders of Stalwart for hiding behind the walls of their keep. The wording of the edict specifies that the death of the Stalwart's ruling family will end the storm. To this day, the locals are welcome and encouraged to assassinate their former ruler. What about the Burning Library? Enough of these questions. What are you trying to pry loose? Bah, needle 7 toes with your interrogatives. Voices in the rat. Grips his fist tightly, green flames licking out of the bindings of his gloves. You're gonna sit here and take my questions until I'm done with you. He loves us at the moment, and I'm quite happy to give him major wrath. Like I said, I don't like him. I do not like him. You know what? Screw it. You're gonna sit here and take my questions until I'm done with you. You insufferable wretch, you're no worse than that maggot. That maggot. I can just charge him? Holy moly! I can just charge the guy! I can just charge him? I don't know. I really don't know. I can charge him? That's insane. I'm in the middle of their camp. It's technically their rules. It is technically the rules of the Scarlet Chorus that you can kill above you to get higher. Ooh. Ooh. I really don't know. I really, really don't know. Oh, God. You know what? I'll just remain silent. You fool! Why are you helping it? You just gave the Archon exactly what it wants. Oh, sometimes we are so very bothered than we. Now be gone, you will antagonize us no more. Really? We got major wrath and we're only up to 70... The Scarlet Chorus, not technically him. What's... Trial of the Archons. Yes. Okay, the sensor is fine. Yep, it's fine. Yep. And what are you like? You don't like us anymore, do you? Like, you are really angry with us right now. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Maybe I should have charged him, but that'll happen next time. Oh, we'll see what happens next time, folks. I'll catch you guys then. Bye.